brand new video for you. So I have been getting a ton of questions about peptides, a ton. So I'm going to start doing individual videos on everybody's favorite peptides, from the GHRPs to the MT2 to the TB500. You name it, I'm going to be doing it. But in this video, I'm just going to give a big, broad overview of peptides. Just kind of explain to you what they are, why we use them in bodybuilding, just the basics, the overview, so to speak, of whatever we can discuss and learn. All right. So some of you are pretty familiar with them, and a lot of you are not, hence the reason you're asking for the videos, and that's cool. We're here to learn, and I'm here to teach. So peptides are pretty popular. They have been for a very long time. Performance-enhancing drugs used in the bodybuilding community. Obviously, there's other uses, skincare. I could go on and on and on, but we're going to focus on peptides used in bodybuilding. We're looking at like growth hormone secretagogues, for example. They're a type of peptide that attract a lot of interest to people. Bodybuilders and athletes that often seek to alter their body composition and improve performance enhancement, heal quicker, you name it, get a better tan, increase libido, increase hunger, appetite, things like that. We got a wide variety of different peptides and what they do. So this would explain why so many athletes and bodybuilders, resort to using them. Everyday people wanting to change their body. It's just becoming more and more and more popular, and that's understandable. We're talking about health here, and we're talking about improving our overall look and feeling and everything of the sort. So people kind of view peptides more as like a natural alternative to anabolic steroids, and a lot of people praise them for their ability to boost muscle mass, for example, help with fat loss, things that I've just been mentioning. So I'm just going to get into detail about that as quickly as I can, but with the most information. So just a general rundown. What exactly are peptides? You hear this term, but do we really honestly truly know what they are? So peptides, including the GHs like I was just speaking about, basically are short chains of amino acids, and these are like little tiny molecules that are the building blocks of peptides and proteins. And I'll do other videos just talking about amino acids because I'm a big believer in those as well. Now, peptides are going to exist naturally within your body, but you can also find them in animal or plant sources of proteins, including like your meat, your fish, your dairy, eggs, beans, lentils, whole grains, things of that nature. Now, manufacturers can actually isolate these peptides for you or make them by combining individual amino acids. Now, the structure of peptides is actually pretty similar to that of certain hormones or even messaging compounds already present in your body. Now, many also have the ability to penetrate tissues as well. Now, these short chains of amino acids are actually involved in a variety of processes in your body, which would include the production of hormones and DNAs as well. Now, they're also very, very, very helpful when we're talking about building muscle tissue, which is what makes them particularly appealing to bodybuilders, obviously. You can get peptides all over the internet right now, and I'm not saying that they're legal to buy. I'm not saying anything of the sort. I'm just telling you that they're available for you to get out there. It's not hard to find. So what do peptides actually do within your body? That's the next question. So because their structure is actually quite similar to those of some hormones and messaging compounds in the body, they can actually engage with and actually activate several receptors throughout the body, and what that does is start to influence different bodily processes. Depending on their sequencing and the compositions that they have, certain peptides can actually prevent blood clots, pretty cool, boost your immune system, very, very important at all times, especially right now, and protect cells against damage and actually reduce cholesterol, inflammation, and blood pressure. Now, specific peptides can also help to boost the release of hormones known to stimulate muscle growth, body fat loss, and exercise performance and recovery. So this makes them particularly appealing to bodybuilders that are interested in maximizing their training results and getting as much change in their body as possible, with a lot less side effects than you would with anabolic steroids. So bodybuilders generally, as we know, are very, very interested in changing their body composition as quickly and for some as safely as possible. Some could care less, but most generally do care. But hey, I've seen it all. Now, research out there does suggest that peptides can definitely help with these goals. Now, growth hormone secretagogues, or your GHs, like your GHRP2, 6, things like that, that I will cover separately, as I said, these are a group of peptides that are actually attractive for particular interests among bodybuilders because they stimulate the production and release of human growth hormone. All right. Now, I've done tons of videos in the past on HGH. I got plenty more coming. But HGH quickly is a hormone that the pituitary gland actually secretes. It can help enhance muscle growth and promote the loss of body fat. It does so in part by actually stimulating the liver to release insulin-like growth factor, or IGF-1, and in turn, IGF-1 is going to trigger muscle protein production and muscle growth. Now, it also appears to indirectly promote the breakdown of body fat as well, as we do know. That's one of the main things, reasons that people do tend to be drawn to HGH. Now, back in the 80s, especially, HGH started to become a very, very popular performance-enhancing drug in the bodybuilding world and just for recreational use as well. Now, we do know that HGH was then, deemed or banned and deemed illegal in many sports, Olympics, things like that since then. We all know what happened with baseball and everything else. I don't need to get into all of that. People do also believe that these GHs do offer many of the same benefits as HGH with fewer side effects. So this is obviously part of the explanation of their popularity, not to mention that they're a lot cheaper than HGHs as well. But, things are debatable. You can look at logs, various logs all over the internet. Obviously, quality comes into play. Now, I can't sit up here and tell you that these GHs are better than HGH. That's a flat-out lie. But things like this, these GH secretagogues, and I've talked about MK677, which you all know I'm a huge fan of. These are the best alternatives to HGH that you're going to find and the closest thing to them. Your cost is going to go down, and chances are that the side effect, is going to go down as well. So, I'm just some of the most popular GHs that are used out there. We've got Semarelin, your CJCs, you got your with DAC, without DAC, Ipamorelin, Anamorelin. These are ghrelin compounds that I'm getting into, so I should state that as well. IPAM. Then we've got your growth hormone releasing peptides, your GHRPs, like I was talking about. GHRP2 and 6 come to mind as the most popular. Hexarelin. I can go on and on. We've got your melanotan 1 and 2 for the tanning, also increasing libido. We've got your TB500 and your BPC 157 for helping to heal. So I can go on and on and on and on. Glutathione, one of my favorites out there. There's so many out there to choose from. Some that do a lot, some that do a little. Also very debatable. All right. People out there are going to promote it for different uses and things like that, but it is what it is. Now, based on certain literatures out there, and I'm talking about safety of using these over the short and long term, there's not a ton of side effects based upon user trials and some of the studies out there. There are side effects that you have to be worried about. Increased appetite is one. For some people, that's very welcoming. Elevated blood sugar in some can happen. Fluid retention is possible in some. Some could possibly increase prolactin. But you have to learn about each individual peptide because there's so many factors there. Dosing. Everybody's body responds differently. What can you take to counteract these measures? Is, which certain side effects do I have to be concerned about with each individual one? Some obviously more than others. And that's why I'll be breaking things down for you in separate videos. And I want everybody in the comments below or emailing me or whatever, send me requests, send me your interest. I'm down to educate. And you know me by now, everybody that's been following me. I always try to give everybody what they want, the best of my ability. I get so many requests, and obviously there's a lot in my life going on between me owning a gym and trying to do this, and this. But I am here to help and make these videos and educate. So the bottom line here is that peptides definitely have a place out there. There's so many different options, and they're very popular and a great alternative to steroids and other harsh PEDs. I will tell you this, people, that there is influx of bad quality out there that you have to be very careful of, and there's some great quality, and there's people that have been around a very long time. Now, people have asked me where to buy SARMs. I've done a video on where to buy SARMs. My favorite company that does, promote what I believe is some of the best quality SARMs out there, not saying they're the only ones, but they're some of the best. They are going to start carrying peptides as well, which I'm extremely excited about, and that's http://SARMS.FORSALE for sale. That's one of the places that I can definitely recommend to you, because I'm sure I'm going to get asked that question as well. So that, my friends, is a brief rundown of peptides.